Welcome to Lab 2, installing Windows 8.1. So we need our 3 virtual machines, server A, server 2012 R2 VM. Client B is our bare metal VM, and client C, our Windows 7 VM. I just want to show you, I renamed them so that they're easier to follow along in the lab guide, but they are the same VMs that I created in the class. If you look at the hard drives, they still have the other name. This title up here at the top is just a label. It still shows below it the folder structure. I'm not in the lab, so mine's not on the same drive letters, but you still see that it's named properly underneath. These are just labels so that we can work with them. So you want to make snapshots each time before you begin a lab. I already took my snapshots, but this is where you do it. So you right click on the virtual machine that you want to take a snapshot in. This is so that we can come back and do it again if we missed something in our documentation for submitting the worksheets. So let's begin. The table at 2-2 that shows that we're going to mount the Windows 8.1 enterprise disk for client B and client C. Which I've already done here. Browsed and found the ISO. So I've already done that. So I'm not going to change that. Exercise 2.1. Let's select client B and boot the OS. You have to click into the window in order to do the press any key when it says it on the screen. So press any key. Then we see the windows actually boot. And this is our bare metal Windows installer. Just say next. Install now. This is a clean install. We didn't previously have Windows in this virtual machine. Accept terms. Next. We're going to do a custom install, so it shows you the drives. So it says leave the unallocated space and click next. And then answer question 1. What should you do if the drive in which you want to install Windows 8.1 already has a partition on it containing an operating system that with data you do not need, meaning that you've already backed it up. So you'd select that partition and click delete. That would be normally what you would do. If you didn't have any drive showing here, usually indicates that you need to load a driver for the storage controller. You do that down here at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and click next. While it's doing that, question 2 is what should you do if there were no drives? Sorry, what should you do if there were where you want to do the Windows install page appears but does not list any drives. So that's when the case where you would load the driver. And that's usually the case for RAID cards and servers, where you have to go to the manufacturer's website, download the driver, and load the driver before you'll see the hard disks. pause this so you don't have to wait for the full install. And we'll pick up when it's installed. So it's finishing up. We're going to restart. This time it's going to boot to the virtual machine's hard drive. Because it has an operating system installed now. So rebooted one more time. Okay, so now we get our first dialog box. So we're going to type in client B to our dialog box, click next. We're going to use the express settings. So as you see, it says sign in with your Microsoft account, but we're not going to use a Microsoft account, but we do want to create an account. So we go to the bottom, click on the create a new account. But we're actually going to choose this other option on the bottom, sign in without a Microsoft account. And the instructions in our lab manual say to use OCOX. With a password. And it wants a screenshot of this screen. So if you do your print screen, alt print screen, and then paste this into your Word document for the lab worksheet. So in the username box, type the OCOX, the password, re-enter the password that we used before for both dialog boxes. In the password hint, type OCOX, and that's the exercise 2.1. Next, we're going to join the domain, so let's go ahead and finish this. So click Finish. It takes a little bit to set it up, so I'm going to pause it while it goes through that process. So it's finished setting up now, and it's actually logged into our desktop using the account that we created initially. So now we need to set up our networking to match that of our other virtual machines. So we're going to change our adapter settings. Over here I'm going to show the details just off the edge of the screen here so that I can do this. So we're going to turn off IPv6, go to our IPv4 settings, and then we're just going to convert this 192.168.20.129. And the gateway in VMware is .2. Now the DNS needs to be our server's DNS. So it's 130. And we need this in order to be able to communicate to our server. So now that we've set that up, we need to make sure we can talk to our server. So I'm going to right click on the start menu, go to command prompt admin, say yes, and I'm going to ping server. Go back and put a space in. So I'm getting a response from my server A. So now we're going to do exercise 2.2, which is joining a domain. We've already signed into our client B as the local admin. So we're going to right click the start button and go to the control panel, and in system and security we're going to click on that and go to system and click on that. We could have also just right clicked on the start menu and gone to system, but they wanted to show you that it's in the control panel still, that it's retained a lot of the things from Windows 7 in the control panel. See our computer name here is client B. We're going to click change settings and change, and then we're going to put in our domain. Click OK. It's going to ask us for our server's administrator. Keep in mind you have to put in the name of the domain before you put in the username of your user. So adatum is the NetBIOS name of our domain, / and then administrator is the username. So this is the username of the domain administrator. And welcome to the domain. And then you could answer question 3. What is the primary reason for the domain join to fail at this point? So if I didn't have my server's DNS listed in my IPv4 settings, it wouldn't have been able to join. So there's several reasons. The first So let's click restart. We're just continuing Lab2. So we joined our domain, now we're going to restart. And they want a screenshot of the welcome message. So don't forget to do the screenshot of the welcome message. If you don't have a screenshot of the welcome message and you need to redo it, you can disjoin the domain and rejoin the domain, and it'll show the message the second time. But the screenshot needs to be of the actual welcome to the domain message. And that's the end of Lab 2. The lab challenges, I'm not going to grade. You can do that on your own if you want to. Basically what they're doing in this is upgrading the Windows 7 VM to 8.1. You can do that on your own. That's upgrading your client C. So I'm going to create a snapshot, end Lab 2. That way, every time I need to go back to this to redo something, I can. Now in this one, there's not going to be a, when you look at the snapshots for this one, it's only going to have basically the two of them. But just make sure to do your snapshots, so in case you have to go back and do something for your homework. Like in this example, I forgot to do the screenshot for the print screen. So I'll show you if you forgot to do it, how to disjoin and rejoin. I could do the snapshot, but it would take longer to do that than actually just disjoining and rejoining. So right click on the start button, go to System, change settings, change. This time we'll just change to work group. We'll just call the work group. Say yes. This is just to show people that you can also leave a domain. So you need to reboot each time you do a domain join or a computer rename. So if you have to do both, make sure to reboot in between each. Just keep that in mind for the future. Because a domain join can fail if you try to do a rename at the same time. It'll say it succeeded, but you look in the domain and occasionally there won't be a connection made between the two. So it's better to reboot in between each, like a computer rename or a domain join. And then conversely, if you're trying to rename a computer that's already joined to the domain, I need to disjoin the domain first, the way I did here, and then do the rename after that, disjoin, and then rejoin, rebooting in between each. So I'm going to right click on the start button, go to System. Click Change Settings, change Domain, adatum.com, adatum administrator. It's going to join again. So you could redo the screenshot before you reboot. So I just wanted to show you how you would get that screen back to appear again if you didn't do it the first time, and how you disjoin a domain. So that's the end of Lab 2.